Yeah.
Insulin resistance is a genetic predisposition that was really favorable to survival throughout most of history. So many of us, as the survivors of the fittest, inherit a tendency to become insulin resistant under conditions of stress. So throughout most of history, the biggest stressor was risk of starving to death.
Yeah.
So our body learned when it got stressed out, I need to hold on to my reserves, I need to run efficiently, I need to clamp down, not waste calories.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about insulin resistance, though, is it's a classic, what we now call mismatch condition. It's a mismatch between genetics that haven't evolved a whole lot since the Stone Age and a world, an environment that has evolved, at the speed of light. In the time that I've been a nutritionist, the world has changed radically. I've been a counselor through all these crazy fads we've gone through, starting with the low-fat 80s and forward. So insulin resistance is a component of PCOS. And I remember years ago, I had a patient call me and she said, listen, I don't know anything about PCOS except for my doctor told me I'd actually be more likely to have kids back in the Stone Age, but now I'm having fertility problems. And of course, they gave her no further explanation than that. And the reality of the fine print behind that statement is throughout history, during droughts and famines, if you could hold on to your nutritional reserves, not give up your body fat so easily, you probably were more likely to be able to reproduce. The problem is we still have this conservative metabolic approach to physiologic stress, which these days tends to be more in response to overnutrition, sedentary lifestyles, not getting enough sleep, and then all these other things that we don't really understand what that is yet. Mm-hmm. The positive thing is we know a lot about insulin resistance because in its most advanced case, it causes type 2 diabetes. But everybody with type 2 diabetes has a period of years prior to that where their blood sugars bump up here and there, but they're not consistent enough to call type 2 diabetes. We would call that prediabetes. So that's what my second book is managing insulin resistance to reverse prediabetes before it becomes diabetes.
Yeah.
But everybody with prediabetes has a period of time, generally years, where they're insulin resistant, but their pancreas is youthful and energetic enough to compensate for it. So this is where a lot of women diagnosed with PCOS are in the early stages. Unfortunately, many of them are diagnosed when they're already pre-diabetic or diabetic. Mm-hmm. So the current belief is that about 50% of women with PCOS will be pre-diabetic or diabetic by the age of 40. That is a scary number.
Yeah.
So insulin resistance is primarily treated with diet and lifestyle therapy. So by trying to revert, kind of pull back from this kind of food toxic environment we live in and trying to focus on more whole foods, what I call quality carbohydrates, whole grains, whole fruits, vegetables, legumes, low-fat dairy products, things, quality carbohydrates spread out over the day, because insulin is a hormone response that is secreted in response to dietary consumption of carbohydrates. So your best bet is to focus on a diet plan where you're spreading those quality carbs out over the day in smaller doses. So your blood sugars are rolling over the course of the day. So the times that I've been to visit my cousin who lives in London,